Welcome back to the 2022 Hart Softball Media Day coverage. We're going to head to CMU and talk with head coach Pat Reardon. Coach, fantastic season last year, number 13 preseason in the NAIA poll. Thank you first for joining us. You're entering year number 30 as the head coach at Central Methodist. How excited are you and your staff for the upcoming season?
Oh, I mean, you always get excited around this time of the year. You know, it's obviously 9 degrees outside, and you know that hopefully around the corner there's going to be some softball, so that kind of perks you up a little bit. But no, I don't think even year 1 or year 30, you kind of don't lose that excitement of the unknown and what you got coming in, who's going to do what. Obviously go out and play games, but we are looking forward to getting out there and playing. Got a lot of returners coming back, so from that standpoint, it all my pitching staff is back, so that helps me sleep a little better at night.
Yeah, you guys are going to head south to start your season in Louisiana for a tournament February 11th. What's important about those early tournaments and kind of seeing what you've got as a team?
Well, I think the biggest part, and we were talking yesterday in practice, we wish we had 10 spring training games or like Major League Baseball does, just to kind of, because we got a couple position battles that we're trying to figure out. And we'll roll into Louisiana and playing some ranked teams right off the bat, from William Carey to Central Baptist, and so it's like you can't really experiment too much, because you gotta start rolling right away and those other teams. But I think the biggest aspect is just being here in mid-Missouri. There's only so much you can do inside, and the kids lose focus, and we start earlier and earlier, and it's kind of, I can remember back in the old days, we couldn't even get on a field until March 1st. No teams could play until March 1st, and those indoor weeks just dragged on. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just being able to know that on February 11th we will be on a field and things are going to play. So it makes your indoor practices a little more urgent.
Now, you've got a very unique situation up there, being able to coach with your dad. He's your assistant coach. How special is that for you two? And as someone who has worked closely with my dad, there's a flip side to that coin as well. But how special is that for you guys to work together?
Well, I think the flip side has flipped again, and he's become kind of the softy and the nice guy, as opposed to spending 39 years with the Department of Defense that he did beforehand, and got used to snapping his fingers and things got done. And that's not necessarily how it works at a small school. But no, he's grown into it. A couple of weeks ago, he got inducted. I think it's our first assistant coach ever get inducted into the Hall of Fame here at Central Methodist. And it was much deserved, just from his recruiting to the time he puts in. But it's been great. I think when I look back on it, whenever one of us decides to give it up, or both of us, that, you've had the last 20 so years to work with your dad and do that stuff. And the relationship has grown. He doesn't quit nearly as much as he used to. And things, they're moving right along. And he's, like I said, he came in 2006, and really we started our prominence kind of as a named NAIA team, probably from 2008. We kind of got to start winning our first conference championship. And obviously, in the teens, it's program's grown and pretty recognizable across the country.
That's so funny you say that. When I worked with my dad, I would quit about once a month on him. So that's great. Let's turn focus to the field. You mentioned you've got your rotation back. You guys led the league last year with a 1.63 ERA in the circle. Talk to me about that pitching staff you've got.
Pretty fortunate. Madison Love is coming back for her graduate year as a COVID person, and she not only can pitch, but she's going to play some first base and hit for us. And then Keegan Cronin is kind of been the workhorse for us the last couple of years. She'll be back senior year. Just hoping to keep everybody healthy, and in this climate, that's that can put a damper on things. But we've got some some other kids that if we do somebody happen to go down, I think they didn't get to pitch much last year, but they got to watch and they can fill in a few innings if we need to. But, super excited about having those two back, and that's going to be a big plus for us.
Talk to me a little bit about your offense. You guys had a ridiculous team batting average last year of 340. You guys are putting it in play for sure.
Yeah, I mean, with my dad and Jonathan Lynch, kind of running the hitting stuff. I mean, these kids work. I mean, they're hitting quite a bit, and we push it and push it and push it, and they both do a great job. But Kelly Gorman's going to lead the way again for us, coming back for her a graduate year also. But everybody else up and down that lineup, and it's competitive right now. I mean, we probably may have one freshman that ends up getting some playing time this year, and otherwise everybody's coming back from that standpoint. We did lose Morgan Willis, was one of our better hitters last year as a DH, and she'll be missed. And then Jordan Jenkins and Chriswell, they both, from a leadership standpoint, we're going to miss them greatly.
How about some newcomers that are coming in this year that fans should look for?
I think it's a good group. I think a lot of them will provide depth. So I don't know how much name we'll get out there with them, but we've got a couple freshman catchers, Lauren Hill and Mara Pollock, that will be kind of filling in some of that role behind our starter, Kaylee Parker. And then Daly Garland out of Chicago has a good chance to play some infield for us. And there's there's a pitcher or two and just some other people that we're trying to figure out where they'll fit in. But those are the three names I'd kind of look out for.
Coach, your history at CMU, I mean, you played soccer and baseball. You're an alum there. You coached your daughter. Fayette must just be an incredibly special place for you and your family. Talk to me a little bit about your history with CMU.
Yeah, I mean, came to school here in 1986, so you can do the math and figure out how old I am pretty quick. But no, I came here in '86 to play soccer. Kind of walked onto the baseball team and ended up, doing that for 3 years and playing soccer for 4 years, and kind of was waiting on my wife, my fiance at the time, to finish up school. So offered me an opportunity to coach soccer, and took over the women's program, did a little tennis. And one day, literally, the president and the AD were going to play racquetball, and I found out the softball coach was leaving, and I said, "Hey, I don't know a whole lot about tennis, but I've been doing it, but I do know stuff about baseball. You think I could maybe talk about that softball job?" Racquetball game got over, and I was hired. So, I tell people that I've never really interviewed for a job. It's just kind of been that way, and very thankful for the time I've had here, and the administrators and the people that work with us. Our president now, Dr. Drake, is super involved in athletics and has been great in his years that he's been here. And I think that's just going to keep continuing to progress.
The rest is history, right? Just from a racquetball game.
Yes.
We're finishing up our conversation with Coach Reardon with CMU. We're going to give you a kind of a rapid fire questions, top four here. So what's your favorite coaching moment that comes to mind coaching softball in the past 30 years?
Oh my.
Just the one.
I think the first time in 2012 when we went to finally got to go to the World Series, that was a big, for all those girls. I'm still in contact with most of those seniors, and we talk about that moment, making that final out and getting to go to Gulf Shores. That's a big one, winning the first conference championship in 2008. Winning the conference championship with my daughter, that was big. And coaching with her too. She got to spend 2 years here coaching and seeing the other side of it. And that was kind of a wake up call for her too. And, but those moments, coaching with my dad, coaching my daughter, coaching with her. My wife's been here for all of them. My mom's been here for all of them. So, yeah, it's hard to pick one or two, and I'm sure I made somebody mad in that group, but that's all right.
I love it. Now, best place to eat in Fayette if folks are coming over for a ball game?
Emmett's. There's a restaurant downtown that's been there for maybe 15, 20 years. We have people come over from Columbia to eat there. Definitely the best place to eat. Pretty close to maybe the only place to eat in Fayette, but no, we have a Subway right next to it. We do have another bar right next to that one that's got pretty decent food. So if you end up at Subway and go left or right, you'll find a pretty decent meal.
Love it. I love it. Sounds great. And favorite place to eat in Columbia?
Oh my goodness.
There's only about 1 million.
Let's see. In Columbia, House of Chow, probably one of my favorites from being a Chinese guy. That's probably one of my favorites. Then probably some of the other ones. Man, that's, and you can't see me up here, but I do like to eat. So that's a, I don't know. There's a place called D Rose that is pretty decent.
I love it. No, that's probably the hardest question.
You got me
I'll
on
ask
that
all
one.
day.
I'll
Yeah,
eat forever,
exactly.
so we'll go.
All right, we've been asking all the coaches this, and give me a couple word answer when I say Hart softball. What immediately comes to mind?
Super competitive. Never an easy game. I think that it's and it's only getting better, and that's kind of scary from that standpoint. It's I know that preseason polls come out and things like that, and I'm not a big believer in those preseason polls. Because I just know that, we start out our season with Baker and Benedictine, and you can start out 0-4, you can start out 4-0, you can start 2-2. There is no guarantees, and it's just getting tougher with the coaches we have in this conference, the players we have in this conference. And I've been a Raider. I'm on the oversight committee right now. But I really think that, our conference is a little underappreciated as far as the competition level that we have. And hopefully, with Mount Mercy making their run last year and different things, and obviously Grandview, I really think that people need to understand this is not an easy conference to play in.
Coach Reardon, Eagles head coach, tell your dad congratulations and thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for doing this.